people, what's up? Welcome back to Just Enjoy. This is Banyan here. I got a very special guest from Orange County today. I'm going to have him introduce himself, and we're going to go from there. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? I'm Lightleakk. Thank you for having me.
For sure. So
happy to be here.
Go ahead and tell the people what you do, who you are, all about you. Let's just get it going.
Well, from Laguna Beach, California. Started DJing about a year ago. Just bought a DJ 400.
Sweet.
Decided to mess around a little bit at home. Ended up just having a few people over on Tuesdays. Just became an every Tuesday thing.
Okay.
And I just started practicing, had a few people over, and just really enjoyed it.
Sweet.
So that was about a year ago, and it was really about this summer, at the end of this summer, when I went traveling and met a few DJs and saw a few people going all over.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized, I was like, this is kind of a thing that people do, and I thought that my music taste could kind of build up a crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And from the people that I saw that were getting gigs, I was like, I can do this, and I could probably do it better.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, this summer I was out in I was in Israel, Spain, Italy, Croatia.
Wow.
And just saw a bunch of DJs all over. And the day I got back, I was like, all right, I'm going to just email as many bars, local bars, hotels, whatever, anyone. And I sent out 8 emails. No one responded.
Mm-hmm.
And my family actually happened to go to dinner at one of the spots that I emailed. And the general manager, it was actually a hotel. So it was a beach club.
Okay.
They have a beach club there. And the general manager ended up hitting it off with me and my dad at dinner. And I was like, hey, actually, I emailed you today.
Yeah,
and he's like,
by the way.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're the DJ.
Sweet.
And he's like, come here tomorrow at 12. We'll sit down. We'll talk.
Yeah.
So I show up the next day, put on a nice button down, fix my hair, like make sure I'm looking good.
For sure.
And, I ordered 2 waters and I'm sitting there at the bar and he's busy. And he shows up and I'm like, hey, you want a water? Like, let's talk. And he kind of just like stands up next to me and he's like, are you free tomorrow at like 3 p.m.? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, all right, you're our new resident DJ. We'll have you here for a 4-hour set.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, I'll see you tomorrow.
You sent it, yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, sounds good. And I really didn't know how it worked. Like,
mm-hmm.
I haven't had any mentors or anyone that really like told me the right or wrong way of how I should be doing things. So I went home that day, and I was just like searching for music for like hours and hours. And it's a 4-hour set, it's like,
that's a long time.
Yeah. And I didn't even know at the time how many songs you go through. So I was like, I don't want to run out of music or like play the same thing. So I'm like finding all these songs, and I have just like hundreds of songs, and I didn't know at the time like if you should freestyle it, if I should prepare.
Yeah.
So I just like over prepared. So I was just like up all night, like 8 hours, like first song, second song, like how do I want it to start? How do I want it to finish?
Yeah.
And I show up the next day, have all my equipment, I set up, start making friends with the people that work there. And it was a super cool setup. It was like on the beach.
Yeah.
Beautiful day. And it's a beach club, so it's like membership only. So these people are like high rollers, like they just show up. I heard like one of the shots that they were taking were like $300 for a shot.
Gosh, dude.
And
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like I played and had an amazing time. I felt like I killed the set. And he's like, all right, we'll have you back next week. So ended up coming back the next week and kind of used that one gig, and I started to go to other places and be like, hey, I'm the resident DJ at Hotel Laguna is what it's called.
Okay.
And like 1 gig turned into 3 turned into 5.
Right on.
5 turned into 10. And now I'm kind of at the stage where I'm like pretty much booked for the next 3 months.
Wow, that's good, yeah.
And now I'm able to kind of make decisions on like where I want to play, what kind of event do I want to have, what kind of music do I want to play, because I really like have learned a lot over the last 5-6 months
Yeah.
on, you know, what people like, what's the right music for the occasion, who the audience is, because like sometimes you're playing for the crowd and sometimes you're playing for the promoters, because some people just want a music, like they want their music to be a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't care as much of the crowd as much as like the brand of their business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I've done a few of those too, where you're like,
yeah,
the crowd might not be feeling it, but you're like, oh, I can't really go outside of this genre.
You want to get called back, but
sure.
you know, I learned that like if you stay true to what you like and you like kind of stick to it, people start to notice it.
Yeah.
And like then you have people who start to come to you instead of you going to them.
For sure.
And so like recently, honestly, like the last, I'd say like 2-3 months, I just have random people texting me like, hey, are you free this date? Like, can you pull up and play?
Yeah.
And a lot of private parties, which are super fun to play at.
Those are always fun.
Yeah. It's always a great time. And you make a lot of friends and like, I don't know, I feel like it's just like put me in an environment where I'm able to like meet a lot of really cool people. A lot of fun business opportunities. Like at that beach club, like I met this guy who's into real estate.
Wow.
And I wanted to talk to him about real estate because I'm also really into business, and we can get into that later. But like he eventually was like, hey, like I have this DJ controller at my work. Someone that used to work for me has this, like, left this DJ controller here. Like, you want to come check it out? So I went over and checked it out. And it's this like $1,500
oh my gosh
Denon DJ Prime 2, like perfect condition.
Interesting.
And he's like, yeah, man, take it. Like, sign a contract and like in case it gets stolen. And we ended up becoming like good friends and looking at some investments to get into together.
Cool.
And he's like, 56 years old.
Yeah.
But he pretty much just like gave me this controller that I was able to use and have been able to use for a long time.
The power of networking.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. And like I think it's best when you really just go into it with an open mindset instead of like I'm going out to meet people and like I need to make a connection here and there. But I think just like showing up and like having that mindset of like there's so many cool people out there to meet. And I think that like DJing and just getting into the music industry is like such a good opportunity to meet so many cool people. Yeah. Because like, it's interesting because like the normal way to like live life, you have your groups. Like I played volleyball in high school and I'm in college right now, and you have your friend group and you make friends that way. But it's like there's so many avenues to go to. Yeah. And I think that like since I've picked up this DJing thing, it's really opened my eyes to the world. Oh yeah. And I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about that on a previous episode with a couple of the guests that were here, where they just said, like I rap, for example, or, I DJ, and then I fell into doing this and I would have never found that, and I think a lot more people need to kind of have that open mindset. And, we were talking about that as well, just like the networking side. Everybody's all social media, always social media, but then they forget, you can make a better connection off of social media just by, showing up somewhere. Because, at the end of the day, we're all still people. We're not a bunch of robots on our phones all day.
Exactly. So. I think it's great to make that instant connection. Yeah. Like, where you meet someone you would have never met. Yeah, yeah. But it really all comes down to, like, do you click with this person in your life? Yeah. Like, people aren't going to just, like, hand you things. Yeah. So
you got to provide value to others in order to get the value
totally
back. Yeah.
And like I've learned too, like in this industry there's a lot of things where it's like I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of vibe. But like it's really helped me a lot to just like really just go the extra mile to give to others. Yeah. Yeah. And it pays off, whether it's not like it doesn't have to be for that exact person, but just in the long run. Like I have this rule for like family and friends where if they ask me to play, I play for them whenever, wherever, for free. Yeah. However long you want me to play. Like, I did this art exhibit for a family friend of mine, and I had 2 other gigs, and I wouldn't say the payout, but it was solid payout.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, like my friend asked me to, my family friend asked me to play. I'm going to be there, you know. And, like, it was a hassle. Like, I had to go out to DTLA, like, traffic. And, you know, like, I gave, like, those 2 other gigs to 2 friends of mine. And, you know, they made some good money. And I bet they had a good time. And just connecting other DJs to promoters and getting them connected.
For sure.
It just ends up coming back, you know.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like committing yourself to that, it has helped me a lot.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, that's, you know, I kind of mentioned this on a previous episode too, like even with this podcast, you know, a lot of people have expressed interest, and I'm like, you know, I can only want to help people, you know, like that's kind of like the whole goal of this, because, you know, when I finally kind of, like last year as well for me was when I finally kind of got serious with this. Like, I've always produced and stuff for like over 10 years now, but last year I was like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to send it, you know. And
will you tell me a little bit about your journey with podcasting and music?
Yeah, for sure. So, and we'll put the interview on me for a second.
Yeah, dude, I'm curious.
Yeah, so 5th grade, I started on the saxophone in a just, you know, elementary band.
Cool.
I went all the way through, you know, middle school, high school, marching band, jazz band, all that stuff.
So you're always around music.
Yeah, always. And even before I started playing the saxophone, I was like piano and all that stuff.
Nice.
My grandma, she was a world touring opera singer. Wow. My dad played the saxophone, so it all kind of trickled down. I say cool. The joke is it skipped a generation, because none of my uncles are, you know, they did band because my grandma was trying to force them to, you know, because she was a musician, and then you know. But I've always been in the space. But yeah, I mean, when I got to jazz band, I think that's when I really started getting more interested, you know, because I always like, you know, movie soundtracks and stuff like that, but I feel like in jazz, that's when you can start like, oh, you're like improvising and you're kind of taking your own image and approach on things.
So when you started, it was kind of your grandparents put you into it?
Yeah. I mean, I've always wanted, like, I expressed interest in it always, you know, so when that opportunity came, I was like, oh, you know, like, let's do this.
Yeah. And eventually you started.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and then in high school, I started getting interest in, like, brass ensembles and, you know, like, bands and stuff that use live horns and whatnot. So cool. I was in a brass band for 4 years, like, traditional brass band. But all through high school, I was producing in Ableton with electronic music as well. Like, I just kind of fell into DJing and stuff all through high school.
Nice.
Never performed, never released anything. It was just like all on my own. I was actually a big video production guy.
Got it.
So, after that, it was all brass band, all outside of high school. And then that ended, and then now I'm in my band One Hot Planet with its 2 saxophones and drum set, you know, so it's kind of like a electronic sax dance music is what we call it. You know, it's like our own little heavy metal take on whatever. And and then I went to a school program for producing and engineering, and that's where I kind of learned the production side more in depth, because like I've always done it, but I didn't know like I didn't know what, you know, there's a lot more to it.
It's infinite.
How
much you can know.
I mean, so since 9th grade, I've been producing in Ableton, and I feel like I'm just now starting to like get a grasp of it. You know, it's been a long time, you know.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah. So, I started that in 2018, and I was just making like a lot of big room and, you know, maybe some house stuff here and there, but you know, it wasn't. I wouldn't call it good by any means. And
I heard your first 100 songs are bad until you get your first good one.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm actually working on my first release right now.
Yeah.
And I'm really stoked on it. Like, I don't
sure.
think it's terrible. And it's like the first
That's good.
thing I've really put some work into.
Yeah, you got the advantage, because I feel like when people are DJing and they're really hearing the sound and what clicks with the audience, then you could go into you know, into the box and go, this will work, you know, or this will sound good.
I've been really testing out my sound, because I feel like it's really important for a DJ to understand like what his sound is, his or her sound is.
Mm-hmm.
But like recently, I think the last month, I've really been testing a lot of different things, because it's cool, because like I don't play at the same style place.
Yeah.
You know, I play like underground, like deep house places, and I play at like bars where it's like top hits.
Yeah.
And there's also places where I just have the freedom to play whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to really identify like what sounds I really like and which ones resonate with me and what other people like as well.
Yeah.
But you know, it's interesting thinking about how you have such a background in music and how, you know, it runs in the family as well.
Yeah.
I like and I was actually reading this book on creativity. Just finished it. It was a great book. It's called The Creative Act.
Okay.
I recommend it. But you know, I never had that. I never had an education in music. I never had anyone in my family or anyone to really follow. So I've I've used that really as like an advantage in a way.
Yeah. Because
I'm learning that like in music, there's a kind of a box that, you know, people have created the set of rules and how things should be done. And I never really learned that. So I feel like I just follow what I like and, you know, like try things that like, I don't know the conventional way to do it, but you know, I follow what sounds good and I've really enjoyed that recently. But it's cool because like, you know, there's trade-offs. You know, I know like some of my favorite artists like Fred again, he's been devoted to music his entire life, you know. And you know, I've only been doing this pretty recently. Like you've been doing like 10 years, you said. Like really like about a year ago is when I really started this. And for me, it's about more than music. Like I really am in love with the business process of being a DJ and, you know, like categorizing the different systems of getting to where I want to go has really helped me a lot. And like, you know, like for me, it comes down to like three things. It's booking gigs, producing music, and marketing. Yeah. So booking gigs, I feel like I can do it better than anyone. Like I love reaching out to people, talking with them, trying to convince them to let me play. And
well, that's good because that's the hardest part.
You know, it's cold
calling pretty much.
It's hard for some people, but for me, it's really natural and like I really enjoy that part, and I think that that's definitely a strength of mine. And then like marketing as well. Like I've always felt like I've had an eye for what people like, you know, how to promote, and you know, had the opportunity to work with one of the biggest social media agencies in the US and learned a lot of tricks from them. And it's cool because I've actually gotten to use it for something that I care about and that I really like, which is like my own brand. You know? And it's cool. Like recently, the last like I'd say 2 months, I've gotten 1,000 followers.
Sweet,
And you know, it's funny saying that now because like I feel like there's people who are at like 100,000. You know, where it's like 1,000 really means nothing, but like it's really exponential how that growth works. And
I feel you on that. I'm at 980 right now, and I'm like, oh my god, 20 more, like
exactly.
20 more.
Once you get there, you know, it's like it grows quick, and like. But I've just really enjoyed working with photographers and videographers and like
that's always fun.
Really like, you know, there's different ways like you can kind of get into the nitty gritty and be like, all right, like take this clip out, move this as the intro, like really build the video with them, or also just giving people the freedom to like express themselves. And I've really enjoyed that, but you know, I think one of my weaknesses, which is something that you've been working with Ableton a lot, is like I'm not as detail oriented in the sense that like I want to spend 2 hours like working on one sound. Like I really have enjoyed being in the studio with my friends, and like shout out to Grooval and Chase Gardner, who like they just know it. It's like in the back of their head. It's just easy for them, and I can just like sit there and be like, ooh, like that sound that's right cool, there, like let's use that, or like I'm not liking this part, like take that out. And just the creative process of like seeing like there's this saying where it's like creativity is just choosing which plate you like better. So like if you have like, I don't know, 2 different dinner plates and you try them both, just choosing which one you like better and going for that. It's really fun. Like you really get to like tap into your creative nature, and I have like a list of like, I don't know, 50 different song ideas that I have that like remixes or just like one piece of a song that I want to sample. But like with producing, like I really enjoy being the manager and having an engineer really put that together.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like with the whole business of DJing as well, I feel like that's where I can kind of show my strength, where I'm like, instead of playing the instrument, I'm playing the orchestra.
Yeah.
You know? So.
Well, that's good, because I feel like a lot of engineers, they get too, like you said, like almost too detailed oriented, where then they put a barrier up for themselves and they can't go, you know, and like the job as a producer is to go, okay, let's keep the project moving along here, you know, let's not worry about. Yeah.
It's more task oriented and less strategy. And I really love strategy in music business and just in life in general.
Well, it's everything. I was talking about that with my manager. Just, you know, a lot of people, they're missing out on the business side of thing because they're too worried about the creative side. But the business side is what's really going to usher your way into.
Totally. But there's got to be a good balance, you know? If you're missing one of those elements, people start to notice that. You know what I mean? So I think it's just about, you know, I feel like it's keeping people entertained, but also just like enjoying yourself, I think is the most important thing. You know, like I've had times where I'm like, I almost have felt obligated to like make a post or come out with this. And it's like, if you're not in the mood to do it, like just take a break, you know, like you don't want to burn out. You know, like last weekend I had 4 shows Thursday through Saturday. I had 2 shows. I had a show in LA, and then after that show it was a 4-hour set. Then I drive to Orange County and do another 1-hour set till 1 a.m. And like Sunday came and I'm like, wow, like that was a long weekend.
That was a lot,
like, and you know, I think it's just about consistency for sure. And like that's why I'm like, all right, if I got booked 4 times, I'm gonna take all 4 and I'm just gonna do them.
Well, it's like, what do you have to lose in the end? You know, you might as well just do it.
You know, you make money, you get practice. And like that's another huge thing is like I get paid to practice. Like I love performing in front of an audience and testing things out and seeing what people like. It's so much better than just like sitting in your room and practicing that way. But you know, I've noticed like being devoted to a cause and like really putting in the time, people really notice it. And like I've had a lot of my friends reach out to me and be like, hey, like you're killing it, like keep it up, keep putting in the work. And like other DJs are starting to notice it too. And like, and you know, that work sometimes feels like it goes unnoticed, but eventually if you can commit yourself and you put in the work, it pays off.
For sure.
Definitely. And like I feel like I'm just at the tip of the iceberg. Like I'm just getting started.
I know. I feel you on that too. It's like, you know, over 10 years and you're just finally kind of starting to see a little bit of a you know, little bit of something.
Yeah, dude, you've been killing it. I've been seeing you.
At
Bloom
thanks,
show,
man.
like you're playing at places that people dream about playing. You know? Like even me, like
for sure. Well, I'll try and help you down in that scene as much as I can.
Thank you, bro. Any way I can help,
for sure.
I'm happy to help.
Absolutely. So talking about your production, you're starting to work on, what kind of, for your sound that you're going for, what kind of subgenre? Like, are you gonna be doing house? Or?
I like don't even know genres. Like, I don't know how to categorize anything.
Yeah.
but
more like pump feel.
It's interesting because I feel like the people who I produce with, they have their own formula.
Okay.
So I think it's just about finding the people that have the style that I want to adopt in a way.
Yeah.
Because they have a system that works and I got to fit into that so that they can flow. You know what I mean? But, you know, with regards to like my sound, I really have enjoyed K Tronada as you know, just an artist to kind of have a style that inspires me. You know, but also like minimal house mixed with vocals, I think is really cool. And
it always hits really good.
Yeah, but like I've been looking a lot and like there's not that much of it, you know. And then there's tech house, which, you know, I've gone through hundreds and hundreds of songs. and there's only so many good tech house songs until it starts to just feel like it's like too much in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
So, you know, a little bit of tech house, but like my goal, and like I'm very big on not really sharing my goals until I get there. But like I would love to have an EP or an album that has whatever 5, 6, 8 different songs, but 2 of them, not more than 2 of them would be the same. You know, it would be like a whole different vibe. You know, so it's like I feel like I can pick different vibes, different genres, and put them together. And to kind of create my style. That's not really one style, but it's like you can categorize it. You know. If that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? That is good because, you know, you don't want to like pigeonhole yourself too quickly into something because you never know, something, you know, this might work, but you were too busy over here doing this. So, you know, especially at the beginning stages of like making music, you know, it's really just kind of seeing what people vibe with the most.
But it's so important. Like, I mean, I really just enjoyed DJing for a while. And then I realized, like, if you want to start selling out more shows and you want to start getting booked at bigger venues, you got to make good music. You know, people aren't just going to book you for being a good DJ. And, like...
people want a brand to buy into.
Exactly. And I've been working on just what my plan is going to be for the next year. And, you know, like, I'm graduating college in May. At the end of May.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 21.
21. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right on. Sweet.
Yeah. So I'm 21. I graduate at the end of May. And right now, my goal is just to, like, push as hard as I can for the United States until the end of May. And then, you know, work on a tour. I'm talking to different colleges right now around the United States to pull up there.
Right on.
And, yeah, just putting different pieces together. And then... once June hits, I'm going to be traveling the world. And, you know, I want to be playing at big venues. I'm going to go straight to Bali in June, book a one-way ticket. And then pretty much my goal is just to be out there until mid-August. Come back mid-August for a few weeks and then do all of Europe. And, just going to be living abroad, traveling, DJing, and... you know, producing on the way.
Right on.
But yeah, man, like I really have my mind set on like as soon as June hits, we're going international and we're gonna like just push it.
Well, and that's good that you're going with like a goal because I feel like a lot of people they just travel and they just achieve nothing, you know, but that's good that you're going and you're like, I'm doing this, you know.
There's a lot of people who just kind of like go about it where it's like, oh, like I'm a DJ, like wherever I can get booked, I'll get booked. And it kind of like people let the world put them in a certain place. You know, instead of being like, this would be cool. You know what I mean? Like visualize yourself where you'd be having the most fun.
Exactly.
And like, I don't know, I see myself like in like Italy, like with all my best friends,
like,
on a boat party, like
that'd be cool.
You know, like that's the ideal, like that's where I'd be having the most fun, and that's where I want to go. You know. And I mean, like it's super fun to like commit yourself to something and like put in the work, but it's also, you got to like keep in mind, like you got a life to live, you know? Like you got friends, you got to take care of your friends, you got to take care of your family, you know. And, you know, I've had long nights where I'm like, my friends will ask me to go out and I'd be like, I'm sorry, like I'm going to work tonight, you know? But you can't forget about your friends. Like you really got to like put in the effort, you know, and make sure they're having fun too. Cause like if you have 4 shows a weekend and, you know, your friends are like, they went out super hard on a Thursday, like they're not going to want to come out on Friday. You know what I mean? So it's like, make sure they're good, take good care of them. And, I think it's important having a good balance.
No, I agree. Cause even with all my friends, like everybody who's been in my life has been in my life for like a really long time, you know, and
me as well.
I always try and include them like, hey, I'm doing a show. You want to come out? I'll get you this. I'll get you that, you know, like, because I agree, because a lot of the times, you know, they're working during the day, but I'm out at night. So when they're off, I'm gone. And then you know.
Yeah, and I think too, like when I was first starting, like my friends would come out to support.
Yeah.
And like they would be there for me. To support me, but like, the goal is to not have them come out to support. The goal is to make sure they're having fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think like, especially recently for me, like I've been booking party buses for my college and it was cool. Like last Thursday we sold out the first party bus.
Wow.
And within a few days, and then I'm getting asked to like book another bus, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. Sold out the second party bus. And then when it was time to get the third party bus, I was like, I had a day, wasn't able to do it. So I'm like, all right, screw it. Like, let's just try to pack 10 extra people on each bus and hopefully people are okay with it. But like making sure people have enough drinks, make sure people are having a good time, everyone's safe it's really crucial. I think, because like your crowd, if they're having fun, then the venue's happy. Yeah. Then you're happy, then people want to come back. Yeah. So I've really made it a priority for a lot of my shows to take care of the people. Definitely. And make sure they're happy. And it's been working out well. Like, we got some big stuff coming up in the next month, 2 months. Yeah, go ahead and let them all know. We'll advertise it. Well, it's still in the works. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it until it's finalized. For sure. We're working on a St. Patty's Day banger. Okay, cool. And I'm thinking about a couple hundred people. Wow. To pack into buses and bring out to LA. Sweet. And it's gonna be a great time. But recently I've kind of found out that a lot of DJs become event planners. Oh yeah. Yep. And I'm like starting to do that, and I'm like, wow, like this is a whole nother market, a whole nother opportunity to get into, where it's like, instead of like asking people to have you, you're in charge. You know what I mean? Yep. And it's like you're managing the whole business of it. Yeah. And with no risk, there's no reward. So like if I'm taking the risk, I'm getting the reward from it. So and it's fun. Like I'm like putting new DJs on and people who've never played live before. I'm like, come out, let's play. Yeah, like I'll literally sit with you. Like I had a friend who has never played before, like barely knew how to DJ, and I'm like, pick 10 songs, I'll teach you. We spent 2 hours before the set teaching him everything, and he gets on there, and I'm like sitting next to him, or I'm standing next to him, helping him with everything, but like he killed it. Yeah. Like I was so happy to see him, and like, it's cool because there, like, I'm sure like there's not that many DJs out there. Like you think it's very competitive, but like in reality, in your area, you probably end up, if you've played long enough, you probably end up knowing everyone, especially for me in Orange County. It's not like San Diego. It's not a huge city. But I mean, I've met a lot of DJs, and like it's fun because everyone's kind of going through that process together and helping each other out. Yeah. So I really enjoyed just making friends with other DJs, and like this summer, like I made a friend in Israel, so I have family there. That's why I was there. Oh, okay, cool. And he's like, last night I saw him. He's like playing for like 500 people. Wow. And like when I met him, we were just at a bar. Like he was sitting down DJing like with his DDJ 400. Right on. And now he's playing for like 500 people, and I'm like, dang. Like, let's go. Like it makes me happy to see that. See it, yeah, totally. Right on. But I've learned that there's definitely a market out there. People want to go listen to good music and have fun, and that's only growing. Like I really realized like DJing is definitely trending. Oh yeah. Yep. And if you can really differentiate yourself from other people, other DJs, and really like find your sound and go for it, possibilities are endless. Oh yeah. Yeah, people are wanting that brand. When things start to get saturated, you have to really have an identity. You can't just have the skill anymore. And like, that's why I'm here too. Like it's just about like exposure in a way. Like you need to have some time in front of the camera. People want to keep in touch, see how you're doing, see what's new, where are you heading. They want the personality side of it. Yeah, they want the human side of it. Dude, and I think like honestly, for my for my brand, like people haven't even like, I don't even know if people have heard my voice before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, totally. Like I don't talk on social media.
Yeah.
I do like a lot of like pictures and edits and all that stuff. And just while we're on that topic, like I've loved photography and videography, and like my name's Lightleakk, and like people who do photography, like they know what a Lightleakk is. It's like,
okay, cool.
Yeah, do you know what it is?
I've heard the term.
So it's like a film term. So back in the day, when there would be like light exposure to film, it would create this Lightleakk. So it's like almost like an orange red streak that goes through the picture.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So if you know, so that's what a Lightleakk is.
Gotcha.
And you know, the story of the name Lightleakk was from when I was in high school. I had this film account, and I would just bring a little disposable camera everywhere I went. And just like snap a picture. And
that's cool. Yeah.
And it kind of built this momentum of like, people were like, let's take a picture. Like, I want to be on the page,
sweet,
whatever.
Yeah.
So like, it turned into something for sure. And, you know, I went out to college and, you know, I was like, all right, like I'm moving on, you know, like I love picking up new hobbies. And, and when it came time to like pick a name, I was like, well, I have this domain, I have this username.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to go with. So like, you know, we're going with Lightleakk. Why not?
Cool.
And, yeah, but it's been really fun, like working with other photographers and videographers and really like strategizing which content and like when you go to a show, it's not like, sometimes you just hire someone and they come out and they do their job.
Yeah.
But those people are really expensive.
Yeah. Yep.
So like I've really enjoyed finding people who are really ambitious, who want to put in the work and want to learn and get better. And with those people, you got to strategize a little more. So I'm like, all right, like over the shoulder shot from the back, from the corner, you know, like make sure, you know, the color's right, make sure people like, you know, you want people with their hands up, like things like that, photographers end up picking up and learning and getting good at. But, and like with videos specifically, like you want to have a theme for that video.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really fun working with just freelancers, photographers, videographers. But I think eventually I want to find, you know, more of a partnership, and like, for sure, I'm going to be going, you know, all over the world, and it would be nice to have someone who's there, committed and like wants to film and wants to take photos. So if anyone wants to come with me and just hit me up. I'm happy to connect with new people, and that's why I'm happy to be here on this podcast, because I'm sure there's bunch of other DJs, videographers, anyone that just wants to connect. So
for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny how with your name, how you mentioned that, because I had the same thing with the name of this podcast. Like in ninth grade, I made like YouTube skits and stuff like that. And like the whole thing was like, oh, just enjoy the videos. So when it came time to making this, I
love the name, bro.
Yeah. Like when it came time to making this, I was going through my closet and I found a shirt that I made in high school, and it said just enjoy. I'm like, that's it. I'm like, I'm just doing it. You know, I'm going to use the name because I haven't seen anything else, you know.
And a lot of artists, I feel like they have something similar where it's like so long ago, one person called them this nickname.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're like, all right, like I'll use it. Why not?
Yeah.
That's cool. I love the name, bro.
Thanks, man. Yeah. It just kind of worked out that way. But yeah, I mean, touching on the photographer and videographer thing, we've been experiencing the same thing with Angry Dog. We're trying to make those connections, because you could hire somebody and pay them $500 to come out and do, but at the end of the day, you're not really getting that.
Totally.
And I would rather work with people of kind of like the same ambition as me, and you know,
it's
but for
hard,
their craft,
it's hard because like getting people to be as enthusiastic as you about your brand is impossible.
Exactly.
It's really impossible. So you really got to make sure that they're getting something from it.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, and like being generous in paying a little extra, or making sure, you know, they get a few free drinks if they want to drink, or like parking, like all of those things. If you can accommodate that for them, it goes such a long way.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we've been working with a couple people, but one of them like, oh, well, come for free, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know, they show up, they do their thing, and I'm like, okay, hey, you know, here's some money, here's
Yeah.
some drink, you know, like,
Some
thanks.
people
because
love to do it for free. Like,
yeah,
I've really enjoyed, like, and those are the people that you want to find. Like,
yeah.
when I started DJing, I offered to play for free.
Oh yeah, exactly.
No one took me seriously because I offered to play for free.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
realized, like, don't offer to play for free.
Yeah.
If you're a DJ, just to get in.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're missing out on some money. Like, people will pay you.
Yeah.
But those are the best people. The people who just want to do it and get
For
better
sure.
and that are ambitious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel like I'm that way too. Like, I've put in a lot of time.
Yeah.
Just because I like it.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
well,
I'm sure you're the same way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, like I said, you know, you come from Orange County and, you know, you drove an hour to be here. So, you know,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Dude, I was excited. Like, I was telling my friend that, like, I'm like dressed up, you know, like I got like a podcast, my first podcast.
Yeah.
So I'm like, and hopefully we can do some more in the future.
Yeah.
And
For sure.
I'm happy to support you and
Definitely.
And maybe get some of my friends on here.
Yeah.
So,
oh yeah. No, I'm open to everybody. I mean, like I said, I'm doing like 2-3 a week now because I've had so many people just wanting just to be on it, you know.
But you're doing a good job, like being able to provide value through content, and like I mentioned before, the clipping that you do is really great. Like being able to take 10 seconds of what someone says and put subtitles on it and put that out. Yeah. Like, I'm excited to have that on my page, and for sure, I'm sure a lot of other people are. But
definitely
continue that, and like also, like, I'm sure, you know, just always try new things and see what works. You know, sometimes it's hard though. Like, I think DJing and podcasting, whatever, is like, and I actually heard this saying on your podcast where it's like people find this formula and they just continue the same thing. Yeah. But like with creativity, like, always try to push beyond that. Yeah. Always try to see what else you can do, you know? Yep. Yeah. Because people get bored, you know? People want to,
especially now,
new things. Yeah, dude.
Attention spans are just down the drain, so it's like you gotta constantly.
And it's funny too, just thinking about that, because like I have ADD, you know. Like, I've always had, like, you know, I've always gotten distracted, and like as a kid, I had a hard time in school, just like staying focused, and it's cool because like DJing really allows me to multitask. Like, I have like this event that like is in the works, and then I'm working on, you know, content here, and I'm working on a song here, so I'm like able to jump around. And it's really cool because like I always thought that I would start a business at this age, and like start like a company, like software or whatever it would be. But it's cool because like with DJing, it's a little bit more of like instant gratification in a way, where it's like you play a show and you do well, and you get so much fulfillment from that. You know, and like you're seeing progress in front of your eyes. Rather than like, I don't know, people who like go to the gym every once in a while.
Takes forever to,
you know, or like just starting a business in general, like you got to put a lot of money in, like, you know, you don't see return for like a year or 2 years. Even longer. For sure. So it's cool for me because like I really have enjoyed jumping around, meeting new people, and just kind of pushing to the next step, I think, is so important too. You know, like, where are you now, and where do you want to be in like 6 months, a year, 5 years? But like, what's the next step to getting there, I think is important. So like, as soon as I have that fulfillment from like a small success of mine, I'm always like the next day, like, all right, how can I push the envelope? How can I push the envelope? And like, also like a piece of advice for like everyone is like, never limit yourself. You know, like if you want to play at Coachella, like make that goal, play at Coachella, you know what I mean? Like put a timeline on it and really like make it happen. You know, like that was a goal of mine. Like I was like, I want to play at Coachella. You know, and I'm like, how big can I think? And it's cool because like those things come faster than you think. When you really want them and you really work towards them. You know, like I had a show, I had 80 people there, and now I'm like working on 300. You know, and it's like those numbers really can grow if you put in the work.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot, you know, like you make mistakes, but like don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Always push the envelope, learn from your mistakes right away, and just keep moving.
Yep.
And I'm sure you feel the same way with your podcast, and I think with DJing and other DJs too, like no matter where you are in the process, always try to see where you can push the envelope to get to the next level. And like if I was myself 6 months ago looking at where I am now, I would be surprised.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that's just about consistently working to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And you know, I've done like, I don't know, 50 to 100 gigs now, like gotten a couple hundred hours of you know, live practice.
Yeah.
And there's people who I know who like have just gotten their first gigs, you know, and I was in that same seat, you know, I really don't feel like I've gotten that far, you know, so like, but like, it's been paying off, you know, like building that brand, you know,
for sure.
But there's always different areas to improve in. Like, I got to get my TikTok game up. Like I haven't posted. I hate it too, bro. Like, cause I feel like you gotta enjoy it to do it.
Yeah.
And like, if you don't, you gotta find someone who can, you know, like you gotta find someone who does like it. So like, I'm looking for a TikTok account manager.
Okay.
Instagram, I feel like I can handle.
I enjoy Instagram. TikTok, I always feel like the algorithm, like I could never really lock it down, you know?
Well, the algorithm is interesting. The algorithm for TikTok, I feel like you just got to try so many things.
Yeah.
And find out what sticks. And like eventually something will stick.
Yeah.
It's like, it's bound to.
Yeah.
And like the opportunity of growth on TikTok is so big.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't even know what the odds are. Like, I'm sure if you posted every day and really put in an effort into it, you'd have one video that would get you a couple thousand.
Oh yeah, it has to.
And the next video will get you 10, you know? Like, it's like, yeah, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
To be honest. And I think, I mean, I'm speaking to myself and to other people, like, you got, like, if you want to grow, you got to get on it.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
So, yeah, that's definitely one of the next steps of mine.
Yeah.
But for now, Instagram's been working well.
Definitely.
And
well, Instagram's like almost like an application now, you know.
It's like research.
Yeah.
Like people like use it to learn about different artists and learn about you know.
For sure. I mean, like everything from your description to how your photos and reels look.
Yeah.
Like you go onto the page and it's like, wow, this looks really good. Or because I've been on people's pages where they're doing really well, but then you go to their page, and it's just like they haven't posted in 6 months. Yeah. And it's like, how are you getting shows and stuff and you're not even present with your branding? You know,
piece of advice I would give for that is like always every gig you have, try to give like 20% of your budget to a photographer, videographer.
For sure.
And then like once you find the right photographer, videographers, make a contract with them for like 5 shows. Yeah. And that way, and like that pricing model for me, like high volume, low price, has helped me a lot. Like with, you know, party bus companies and with photographers, like, because people want consistent business. Like people typically want that stability where it's like, all right, I got money coming in.
For sure,
consistently, and I'll work for less to make sure that happens.
Yeah.
So offering that to the right people helps a lot.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
And like also having an eye, like understanding what, like having an inspiration, like there's different Instagram accounts that I like Trez Mortimer. I don't know if I'm saying his name right, but I actually saw him in LA while I was shopping. He's like, he got 30K on Instagram. He's not like, I'd say like, I don't know, tier B, but like his music, like I play his stuff at a lot of my sets. Like I love his stuff, but he posts every day. He does like top 5 songs of the week, top 5 songs for Valentine's Day. He's a killer producer, and he's getting booked all over. And like, I saw him in LA and I was like, yo, I love your work. Like, especially what you're doing on social media. And he's like, he told me, he's like, Yeah, man, I was just talking to my manager, and like, you just gotta do it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you gotta just commit yourself, like one post a day,
Yeah.
one post a week, as long as you're doing it consistently.
Something, yeah.
Yeah. And like Mal P has been killing it on Instagram.
Oh yeah.
Peggy Goo has some really sick videos. Fisher always kills it with good videos.
Yeah.
So being able to model kind of what you want in your account off of people that you like,
Yeah.
I think is a good strategy to go for.
For sure.
And then like, I always create like a folder. Like, I know how you can save videos. Yeah. I just like find a bunch of cool stuff and I'll save it. And I'll be like, oh, like we can kind of use this piece. Like, oh, I like the color of the subtitles here.
Yeah.
You know, like let's use yellow subtitles.
Yeah.
So like things like that where you can just pull little things. Cause like that's pretty much what Instagram and TikTok, it's what it all is. It's just like putting ideas into your head.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yep. Getting that inspiration and
totally
just rolling with it.
And then you want to be that inspiration for other people.
Yeah.
That's how you grow on Instagram, where it's like, I'm sure there's other DJs who like, I mean, I have people who reach out to me like, hey, like, love your stuff. Like, just want to know, how did you get your first gigs or whatever?
Yeah.
And being that inspiration really like opens up to other opportunities too. Like, I was considering like doing like classes and doing like a subscription for like newer DJs. Like, what's the business behind getting gigs? What's the business behind producing, like social media? What kind of strategy do you want to go for?
Yeah.
And I can like talk about my experiences and you can monetize it in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
I'm sure you could do that with your podcast, dude.
Oh
like,
yeah, definitely.
Get some sponsorships.
Yeah, that's the goal. I'm trying to get a few episodes out so then they see that it's like a consistent thing, and then it's, you know, just kind of roll from there.
2 a week. You'll get some sponsorships in no time.
Well, when I first made this, I was kind of looking at like a release schedule, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and do like 2 a month, and then I'm quickly sitting here going, I think I'm gonna have to do like release 1 a week because it's just,
you got the setup,
it's piling up. Yeah.
You're chilling, bro.
For sure.
Keep it going.
Cool, man.
What are your goals for the future for that?
So, you know, I mean, obviously to platform other people, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, you know, it's not the me show, you know, I'm looking to interview the other people, but I mean, maybe get this to a point where maybe it's a little bigger, more exposure, you know, so then it, you know, just provide that much more value to people, because if I'm providing it now with, you know, 100 followers or whatever it is just on the pod, I mean, obviously my personal one has more, which I advertise, but you know, I think that's really it, you know.
I love that though. I love the fact that like, but also you have all these artists who come. Yeah. And eventually you can get bigger artists. For sure. And they post it on their page. Yep. It's a good model to pick up traction quick.
That's, you know? And I would say that eventually, you know, that would be the goal, you know, kind of get more into that space, maybe even do interviews like live at a show, or, you know, with this artist in the green room of a venue, you know, like just like things like that, you know, to maybe put more of like a behind the scenes side of it, because, you know, like we were talking about
variety.
Yeah. Like a lot of people, they don't see the personality of these they just see who's on stage.
Totally.
You know, but I feel like once they get to know them more, then they buy into their brand more, you know? So I think that's kind of like, yeah.
I love it, bro. Any way I can help.
For sure. Yeah.
Let me know. I'd love to do some green room interviews or whatever.
Definitely.
Talking about preparation for sets and all that stuff. Dude. Yeah. There's literally so much to it.
Yeah. And I definitely think like live interviews, you know, at a venue. So, you know, like fun. I said, people like, what's going on backstage? What are they thinking? What are they feeling? You know, are they nervous? Are they excited? Are they scared? You know, it's more human. And I feel like a lot of people are missing that, you know. People want to know who you are, and and you know, I've had experiences where I've met like my heroes before, and it's like they're just terrible people, and it's like it killed it for me, you know.
Oh my god, it's like this industry is really interesting, because there's really good people, and there's also people who are not the best. And I've had a few experiences, like, I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, but like people just like aren't considerate, and like they don't really care about the human interaction of it. It's like, all right, how many people can you bring? Can you play for free? Like, how much can I profit off of you? And it just like, it rubs me the wrong way, but in the end, like, I really truly feel that the people who don't treat other people right in the industry don't become that successful.
That's what I was talking about the other day.
They also don't feel good about themselves too. You know, like
there's something deeper going on.
Exactly. So if anyone, like it's not about you. Like people in this world, like it's about what you can do for them.
Yeah.
You know? So like if you treat people right, especially if you're like a bigger DJ or you're a promoter or you're a club owner or whatever.
Yeah.
If you treat people right, they'll do the same.
Yeah.
And even if they don't, like still always be respectful.
For sure.
Because like you never know when that can come back and help you out, you know?
Yeah.
Like yeah. I mean, I've seen it. I'm sure you have too.
Oh, me and my manager, we were just talking about it, like just a scenario that happened 2 weeks ago, and you know, just being nothing but nice and respectful, and then they're just like these backhanded comments at you, and you're just like, like what have I done? You know, like,
totally.
It's crazy. Totally. I do think and I'm starting to learn this, you know, and once again, I don't know what people have going on. You know, I'm not going to name anybody in particular, but I feel like there's a lot of spite and jealousy.
I mean, we could start some beef on this podcast.
I know, right?
Pick up some traction.
We
could call out some people right now.
Take the easy E approach here. With
like it's like, what is it, like LA Leakers or like you know those rap podcasts where it's like they just call out and it blows up everywhere.
Yeah. But yeah, I definitely. I know, right? There's a lot of
Sorry
jealousy.
To interrupt,
no, you're good. There's a lot of jealousy and spite, you know, and it's just at the end of the day, I'm comfortable with myself at least, so you know that's why I feel like, you know, and I could pick that up from you. You know, you're just wanting to just provide value to people.
Yeah,
and I think that has a lot to do with the business mindset, and you know,
totally.
And you know, I'm a business owner myself as well. For people who don't know, but yeah, you know, and it's always that, you know. I think the people that are always trying to take, eventually they run out of, you know, things to take, and they just
it's hard. I mean, I feel bad for those people because like you know that the people who take like they need that kind of, like they're kind of looking for the wrong things.
It's like validation
it's interesting. Like, I just read a book on mimetic desire, and it's like basically just about how typically what people want and desire from life are based on the people that they look up to, what they have.
Okay. Yeah.
And so like if one of your friends has like a nice car and you want that car.
Yeah.
And I think with this industry as well, like if you try to get, like, I mean, people end up wanting things that really don't provide fulfillment to them.
Yep.
Just because they think it'll give them that stuff. And and I think it's really important for artists in general or just people who you know want to be happy to like really think hard about what they truly want and why they want those things. And if they're going to get that fulfillment from it, because I think that a lot of people just look for that next high, that next, you know. And there's a lot of people who like live unhappily, you know. And being able to really like be mindful about like what you really want and like what you're doing with your life and what's your lifestyle and stuff. Like I think going out to clubs, it's great, it's so much fun, but like do it to celebrate something. You know, don't do it to escape.
Don't get the dopamine hit and go home and be sad all week.
Exactly. I mean, it's natural, dude. Like
for sure.
Like I'll have a killer set and just be so high, and then the next day you're like, whoa, like back to real life, you know. And it's normal, you know. Like life has ups and downs. You can't avoid it, you know. Being able to understand that though helps so much, because it's all part of it. Like there is no high without low. You know.
Well, I was talking about that last night, even with like going out to clubs, you know, because somebody was asking me, oh, do you go out, you know, you DJ, you're on the, you know, when I go out, it's with a goal. You know, I'm going to see this artist because, you know, I want to see him, or, you know, he put me on his guest list, so I'm going to go show support, you know, and like, I'm there for like the music, you know, and like, you know, people do their things, you know, whatever. I don't judge anybody, you know, but that's, you know, with me, I'm just like, there's a goal,
Yeah.
You know, I'm here for a reason, and I feel like that's kind of helped me when, you know, I wake up the next day. I feel good. I'm like, okay, I accomplished something. I didn't just go out and be all crazy. And
I like going out and being crazy every once in a while.
Yeah,
because
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, no, totally.
Exactly.
I'm sure.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, and also like for DJs in general, like being able to build that connection for people is so important. And like it starts with your music. Like if you play music that really, like the energy of the music, I'm sure you understand. Like every song has a certain wavelength type of energy. Like there's songs that are really high energy club, there's beach club vibes, you know, there's sad songs, there's songs about love. But being able to like promote connection and make sure your crowd has that sense of connection, they want to come back, you know. They get a sense of fulfillment from it. So I've really tried to do that, and I feel like since the very start, even when I knew nothing about music, that was kind of one of my biggest priorities. Is like set a vibe, and like you really are in control when you're a DJ. Like you can choose, like if you want people to like go nuts and like just get obliterated and drunk and like just go crazy, like you have the control to do that. But like it's up to you what you want to do. You know, and I think giving people that fulfillment is huge.
It's the most important thing. You play the songs that people didn't know that they wanted to hear. That's why I like saying that saying. But
totally.
So any shows coming up you want to advertise? Any
Man, I got a lot coming up. I'm gonna be out of town next weekend, but the following weekend I'll be in Laguna Beach. So I got one of my favorite spots, Brussels Bistro. Underground.
Sweet. It's
definitely a venue that I get to experiment and try new sounds, and people tend to really like it.
Cool.
Dance Vibes, Sueños is also a great spot. I have that the following night on Saturday.
Sweet.
I believe that one's on the 4th. And like just got a lot of events coming up. Just stay tuned on my Instagram.
For sure.
I put everything on there.
What's your username? Go and shout it out.
Lightleakk, Lightleakk.
Right on.
2 Ks at the end. But
Sweet.
Yeah, man, I post everything on there. Yeah, man.
For sure. Cool. All right. Well, I think we're coming up on the hour here.
Cool.
So we'll.
Damn, it's been an hour.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Crazy.
I know. Yeah. The last guest, he said the same. We got to like 50 minutes, and
it's great, man. Thanks for making me feel super comfortable.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Great setup.
For sure. You're
also a pleasure to talk to. So.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I appreciate that. I feel the the mindset, it's there, and I appreciate it, So, shout out to everything that you're doing.
Thank you,
you're
bro.
hustling,
Thank you.
I recognize. So, just keep it up, and like I said, I'll do anything to get you down there as much as I can.
Yeah, let's talk.
Just try and figure out something. And
cool.
Yeah, so cool, guys. Well, go ahead and give Lightleakk a follow on Instagram. I'll provide all of his links in the description and the bio. This will be going up probably, not next week, but by the time this comes up, it'd be about 2 weeks from today when we're recording. So I'll be posting clips. I'll send you some things so you could kind of fill your page with them.
Sweet.
TikTok. These videos do good on TikTok.
Let's do it. Let's do it. We can get started.
Right on, guys. Well, cool. This has been episode 7 of Just Enjoy. I hope you just enjoyed this. Shout out Lightleakk for making the drive down here. Give him a follow, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.